Good morning, friends. Happy Friday. I'm so glad to be here with you this morning for story time. This morning I am outside because it's kind of crazy at my house. We're all working from home and it was too noisy inside to read stories. So we're going to have story time out on the deck, on the patio, and hopefully you won't mind and it won't be too windy to mess up our sound. So today's stories are all about love. So I have some really funny ones and some really sweet, sappy ones. So hopefully you'll like them. So we're just going to start with this one. This one is called Wherever You Are, My Love Will Find You. And it's by Nancy Tillman. I wanted you more than you will ever know. So I sent love to follow you wherever you go. It's as high as you wish. It's as quick as an elf. You'll never outgrow it. It stretches itself. So climb any mountain up to the sky. My love will find you. My love can fly. Make a big splash. Go out on a limb. My love will find you. It can swim. It never gets lost. It never fades. It never ends. If you're working or playing or sitting with friends, you can dance till you're dizzy, paint till you're blue. There's no place, not one, that my love can't find you. And if someday you're lonely or someday you're sad, or you strike out at baseball or you think you've been bad, just lift up your face, feel the wind in your hair. That's me, my sweet baby. My love is right there. In the green of the grass and the smell of the sea and the clouds floating by at the top of a tree and the sound crickets make at the end of the day, you are loved, you are loved, you are loved, they all say. My love is so high, so wide, and so deep. It's always right there, even when you're asleep. Get him sleeping. So hold your head high and don't be afraid to march to the front of your very own parade. If you're still small, if you're still my small babe, or you're all the way grown, I promise you, my promise to you is you're never alone. You're my angel, my darling, my star and my love. My love will find you wherever you are. Isn't that a sweet book? I like that one. How about a silly one? Maybe a song? Are you ready? Now, this one is kind of hard to read, so I'm hoping that I don't mess it up. So I'm gonna move my camera just a little bit so that my eyes look better in both my cameras, okay? This is the songbook and it's called Catalina Magdalena Hoppensteiner Wallendiner Hogan Logan Bogan was her name, and it's by Ted Arnold. Alright, this is a tricky one, so you're gonna have to give me some grace. Alright, here we go. The little baby was born. Can you see the picture? Okay, here's where it gets tricky. She had a funny name, but she wasn't much to blame. Her mother gave it to her just the same. Catalina Magdalena Hoopensteiner Wallendiner Hogan Logan Bogan was her name. Isn't that silly? Well, she had two peculiar hairs on her head. One was black, the other was red. Catalina Magdalena Hoopensteiner Wallendiner Hogan Logan Bogan was her name. She had two eyes that were quite a sight. One looked left, the other looked right. Catalina Magdalena Wallendiner Hoopensteiner Hogan Logan Bogan was her name. I mixed them up. She had two holes in the bottom of her nose. One for her fingers, the other for her toes. Ew. That's yuck. Catalina, Magdalena, Hoopensteiner, Wallendiner, Hogan, Logan, Bogan was her name. Look at how silly. That's so silly. She had 2 teeth in the top. Oops, let's try that again. She had 2 teeth inside of her mouth. One pointed north and the other pointed south. Catalina, Magdalena, Hoopensteiner, Wallendiner, Hogan, Logan, Bogan was her name. She had 2 arms that flopped all around. When she walked, they would drag on the ground. Catalina, Magdalena, Hoopensteiner, Wallendiner, Hogan, Bogan, Logan was her name. Look how happy she was as a cheerleader. She had 2 feet that were wide and flat, each one bigger than a bathroom mat. Oh, look how good she is at dancing. So silly. Catalina, Magdalena, Hoopensteiner, Wallendiner, Hogan, Bogan, Logan was her name. She had 1 brain inside of her head. What she thought is what she said. Catalina, Magdalena, Hoopensteiner, Wallendiner, Hogan, Bogan, Logan was her name. Look at her at graduation. Some folks say that her breath smells sweet, but me, I'd rather smell on her feet. Ew! Catalina, Magdalena, Hoopensteiner, Wallendiner, Hogan, Bogan, Logan was her name. If rain makes flowers sweet and clean, there ought to be a downpour on sweet Magdalene. Look at their wedding day. Oh no, it's raining. Oh, that's so funny. Catalina, Magdalena, Hoopensteiner, Wallendiner, Hogan, Logan, Bogan, Smith was her name. Smith! And look, they're married now. I think that is a silly, silly book. Alright, our next book is about a koala bear. Check this out. I have a brand new koala puppet. Hello! This book and this puppet were given to me by my very best buddy, Christopher. He gave me these so that I would have some new books to read for story time. So, I'm going to see if my koala will sit right there while we read this story. I don't know if she will. She's kind of precarious. Koala Lou, and this one is by Mem Fox. There once was a baby koala, so soft and round that all who saw her loved her. Her name was Koala Lou. The emu loved her, the platypus loved her, and even tough little koala claws next door loved her. Look at all those animals that loved her. But it was her mother that loved her most. 100 times a day she would laugh and shake her head and say, "Koala Lou, I do love you." Whenever she stretched in the early morning sun or climbed a gum tree or bravely went down the path by herself, her mother would smile and say, "Koala Lou, I do love you." The years passed and other koalas were born, brothers and sisters for Koala Lou. Soon her mother was so busy that she didn't have time to tell Koala Lou she loved her, although of course she did. Every night she curled up under the stars. I'm going to move Koala Lou so you can see the pictures better. Every night as she curled up under the stars, Koala Lou thought about the times when her mother had looked at her and said, "Koala Lou, I do love you." And she longed for her to say it again. One night, Koala Lou had a splendid idea. Preparations had begun for the Bush Olympics. She would enter the Olympics. She would compete in the gum tree climbing event, and she would win, and her mother would fling her arms around her neck and say, "Koala Lou, I do love you." Koala Lou began her training right away. She jogged and puffed and lifted weights and panted. She hung from a branch with one claw at a time till she ached. She did push-ups till her stomach hurt, and last of all, she climbed the tallest tree she could find over and over again. She's working hard, huh? Sometimes her mother would watch her and ask, How are you going, Blossom? Fine, just fine, would answer Koala Lou. At last, the day of the Bush Olympics arrived. Koala Claus had also entered the gum tree climbing event. Everyone knew how fast she was, but Koala Lou wasn't scared. She saw her mother in the crowd and imagined her saying, Koala Lou, I do love you, and her heart filled with hope. It was Koala Claus who went first. Her climb was a record-breaking 22 meters in 70 seconds flat. The spectators whistled and cheered wildly and waved their party hats. Woo, that was fast, huh? Can I do better than that, wondered Koala Lou. I must. As she stepped towards the tree, a hush fell over the crowd. On your mark, said the kookaburra. Get set, go! Koala Lou leapt up onto the tree. Up, 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 and up she climbed, higher and higher and higher, faster and faster, until she was right at the very top. The spectators roared and clapped and stamped their feet. But she wasn't fast enough. In spite of all her training and all her hoping, it was Koala Claus who won the gum tree climbing. Koala Lou came in second. Koala Lou went off and hid. She heard the shouts of all the Bush Olympics, and she cried her heart out. Look how sad. Poor Koala Lou. When the first stars of the evening appeared in the sky, Koala Lou crept home and through the dark up into the gum tree. Her mother was there waiting for her. Before she could say a word, her mother had flung her arms around her neck, and she said, Koala Lou, I do love you. I always have, and I always will. And she hugged her for a very long time. There's a kookaburra on the end. What a good story, huh? All right, we have time for one more book. This one is super special to me. This one is about being here for a reason. And this one's kind of dedicated to my kiddos because they are here for a reason. And so are all of you. And I'm really blessed to be here reading stories for all of you and all of my friends out there. So I hope you enjoy this one. This one is by Nancy Tillman. We have two by Nancy Tillman today. You're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. You certainly are. The world would be different without you by far. If not for your hands and your eyes and your feet, the world, like a puzzle, would be incomplete. Even the smallest of things that you do blossom and multiply far beyond you. A kindness, for instance, may triple for days or set things in motion in different ways. It travels much further than you'll ever know, under the treetops, over the snow, till it's wandered. You see that kite? It's moving through lots of people. And fluttered. See the bird using the kite? And floated. And twirled, making things happen all over the world. You're here for a reason. It's totally true. You're part of the world that is counting on you. So don't be too worried if some days fall flat. Good things can happen even from that. Life can be tricky, there isn't a doubt. You'll skin your knees trying to figure it out. But life works together, the good and the bad. the silly and awful and happy and sad. To paint a big picture we can't always see, a picture that needs you, most definitely. Remember the next time a day goes all wrong. But to somebody else, you'll always be strong. And that ball that you lose or that kite you let go could make someone's day. You just never know. You're here for a reason. If you think you're not, I would just say that perhaps you forgot. A piece of the world that is precious and dear would surely be missing if you weren't here. If not for your smile, your laugh, and your heart, this place we call home would be minus a part. Thank goodness you're here. Thank goodness times 2. I can't imagine a world without you. Isn't that a sweet story? You certainly are a good part of this world, and I'm so glad I get to read stories with you. Life wouldn't be the same without such amazing people like you. Thanks for joining me today, and I can't wait to see you next time. Have a great Friday.